and call this meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first item on the agenda is the public comment on agenda items other than the development or rezoning applications. Anyone for public comment? And last time, anyone for public comment? Okay, moving on to the approval of the minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion given by Mr. Olet. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Bach. We'll call for a vote. Mr. Bach?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next up on the agenda are bids and quotes. First item, approval of the bills. I'm skipping around here. Approval of the bills. Do I have a motion for the approval of the bills?
So moved.
I have it moved. Can I have a second?
I will second that.
Thank you very much. And I will call for a vote. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next on the agenda are the bids and quotations. First item we have are fire gloves and extricating gloves, hoods, flashlights by the Millcreek Fire Department.
Thank you. Before you is a proposal for purchasing firefighter PPE. We initially approved purchase for our full-time firefighters. This additional purchase will be including all of our part-time firefighters. The first one is for Heritage Fire Equipment for firefighter PPE in the amount of $13,760.44. The next quote is for Whitmire Public Safety for 23 additional sets of structural firefighting gear. That amount is $107,514.88. Whitmire does have a CoStars account of 012-E22-281. It's my recommendation that the Millcreek Township Board of Supervisors approve these purchases for firefighting gear for our new firefighters.
Thank you very much, Chief. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And I'll call for a vote. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next up on the agenda are, under bids and quotes, are structural, oh my goodness, firefighting gear. And Chief Cliff? You just both? Okay, sorry about that. Thank you very much for doing both. I appreciate that. Now we're on to planning and development, Old Glenwood Park Avenue dedication map. And that'd be Mr. Waldinger.
Thank you. Good morning. Following the purchase of a 50-foot strip along Old Glenwood Park Avenue to install the turnaround, the property must be dedicated as part of the Old Glenwood Park Avenue right-of-way. A dedication map must be prepared and stamped by a professional land surveyor and then presented to the Planning Commission for review and the Board of Supervisors for final approval. I contacted Sanford Surveying and Engineering and received a quote of $2,400 to complete the survey and prepare the map. I would recommend that the board hire Sanford Survey and Engineering to prepare and deliver a dedication map for formal approval at a cost of $2,400.
Thank you very much, Mr. Waldinger. Do I have a motion to accept this
I'll make that motion.
quote? Thank you very much, Mr. Olet. Do I have a second?
I will second that, Kim.
Okay, thank you very much. And we will take a vote. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next up, we have ordinance 2023-8. And I will hand this over to Attorney Shaw.
Yes, ordinance 2023-8 amends Chapter 129, Taxation, Article 7, Volunteer Service tax credit. This proposed ordinance would permanently reduce the volunteer service tax credit points from 150 to 75. Under this proposed ordinance, the participation points needed to qualify for the volunteer service tax credit would be permanently reduced to 75. Under the original ordinance, the participation score to qualify was set at 150 in conjunction with the fire chiefs. For 2020 and through 2022, that amount was reduced at the request of the fire chiefs as a result of the impact of COVID-19. Subsequent to that, operations have been such that it justifies removing that or reducing that permanently. The fire departments have requested that the township permanently reduce the number of points needed to qualify for the credit, and the ordinance formally adopts this permanent reduction in points from 150 to 75 starting in 2023. The recommendation is to approve this ordinance.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the board?
None here. I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve ordinance 2023-8. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, let's call for a vote. Mr. Olet
Yes?
and Mr. Bach?
I vote yes.
And I also vote yes. Next up on the agenda, we have new amended ordinances under review. There is a subdivision and land development ordinance, Saldo amendment. Mr. Shaw.
Yeah, just an update that legal review has been completed of that, and we're working with the Engineering and Planning and Development Department to coordinate a time for their final review.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have a resolution to approve the annual budget of the Erie Area Council of Governments, that's COG as we know it, Resolution 2023 R40. This would be for the calendar year ending December 31st, 2024. So in this, we were presented at our last Erie Area Council of Governments meeting that we were presented with the township membership acceptance of this at a supervisors meeting. As a member of the COG, Millcreek Township is one of almost 30 municipalities who utilize the COG and its services, which we get discounted prices on purchases and municipal representation throughout the area. It is my recommendation. I am appointed to the EACOG and serving on the Finance Committee of the EACOG to approve the proposed budget for 2024. And that was a motion.
And I will second.
Okay, we'll call for a vote. Mr. Olet?
Yes?
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next up, we have Resolution 2023 R41. And I believe this is Mr. Krzyzewski.
Yes, thank you. We received a request from the county tax office to exonerate taxes on a total of 12 trailers. That would be 525 Auditory Drive, 548 Latempia Drive, 524 Auditory Drive, 513 Auditory Drive, 520 Auditory Drive, 3411 West 12th Street, Lot 7, 3411 West 12th, Lot 6, 3411 West 12th, no lot indicated, 3411 West 12th, Lot 1, 3951 West 12th, 3953 West 12th, and 564 Auditory Drive. The total of the taxes to be exonerated are $846.04 for 12 trailers.
Okay.
It is my recommendation we approve the exoneration of the taxes.
Thank you very much. Any discussion from the board? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second, and do I have a second? Sorry, I tried to second it.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a second, so we'll call for a vote. Mr. Olet
Yes.
and Mr. Bach?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Moving on to item 11, on the agenda, a revised Second Amendment to the Waste Management Agreement. And this would be Mr. Shaw.
Yes, in March of 2022, the Township and Waste Management entered into a new 5-year waste contract Under the terms of that agreement, Waste Management is responsible for the collection and disposal of municipal waste and recyclable materials and billing the residents for said collection and disposal services. In March of 2023, in an effort to streamline billing and collection, the township amended the contract and transferred the billing and collection of the residential trash accounts from Waste Management to the township, or more specifically, the township's agent, Erie Water Works. This amendment, before you, modifies the original agreement and the amended agreement with respect to billing certain special services requested by the resident that were not previously transferred to the township or Erie Water Works. This amendment was previously approved at a June 13 meeting, June 13, 2023 meeting, but additional clarification since then was provided by Waste Management regarding rate escalation for these special services over the balance of the contract. The special services in particular are the quarterly fee for extra toters. For 2023, that fee is $18. It increases over time to 2026, where it's $20.25. Next, it's the billing quarterly fee for backdoor services. And as I understand it, backdoor services are situations where the resident has asked Waste Management to actually get out of their truck, come retrieve their cans where they have them stored on their property, bring them over to the truck, dispose of them, and then return the cans. They offer that service, but obviously it comes at a cost. And that's split into two types of backdoor services. One is regular backdoor, which is a quarterly rate of $151.32 for 2023. That increases over time to $171.87 in 2026. And then the second type of backdoor service offered are for those who are disabled. Those rates are much cheaper. For 2023, the rate is $91.32 a quarter, and it increases to $111.87 a quarter by 2026. The recommendation is to approve this amendment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shaw. It is my understanding that we don't have many residents that use the backdoor service. Is that correct?
I think there might be a couple.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just a few.
Yeah, these are not big, numbers of people who are impacted by it. The toters, may be in terms of people who want an added toter for their property, but the backdoor services it's there, but I don't believe it's heavily used.
And I do have one more question. The quarterly rate, is that in addition to what is already paid quarterly, or is $91.32 going to be the rate?
I believe it's an addition.
Yeah, the backdoor service that is included the actual base rate for trash, my understanding. So it's, say I think we're billing $93 now a quarter maybe. The extra on top of that to get the $115 is the addition to do the backdoor service. So they're not gonna pay $115 plus $93.
Got it. Okay. All right. So they'll pay the $93 this quarter plus the $91.32. No, it's just $91.32.
Yeah, so to clarify, there are, for the backdoor disability services, they're the same rate as anybody else in Millcreek Township.
Oh.
Regular pickup.
Okay.
If you just, for whatever reason, are not disabled and want backdoor pickup, it's the
51.
51.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, and there are only 8 people that utilize backdoor service, and most of them are disabled in some fashion.
Okay. Great. Okay. Good to know. Thank you very much. I appreciate the clarification. Any other questions from the board?
None here.
Okay. Then I'll call for a vote. Mr. Olet?
You need a motion.
Oh, God. I first need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, and I will call for a vote. Mr. Olet
Yes.
and Mr. Bach,
Yes.
and I also vote yes. Next up, the MTSD tax exemption settlement agreement. Mr. Shaw.
Yes, after the Millcreek Township General Authority acquired the 8th Street properties, it sought to have the properties exempted from property tax. The school district challenged that exemption. The authority and the school district resolved the matter through a pilot agreement under which the authority pays $45,000 a year to the district The township needs to sign off on the agreement since it is also a taxing body. The recommendation is for the township to approve the agreement.
Okay, thank you very much. We don't have a resolution to approve on this. Okay. All right, next up, we have stormwater management maintenance agreement and,
You do have to vote on it, though.
oh, we do have to,
There's not a-
there's
not
no
a particular
resolution, though?
resolution. You just need to vote on it.
Vote on the settlement.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so this, I'm going to ask if there's any discussion from the board on MTSD tax exemption settlement agreement.
No, none here.
Okay, then I will ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, then I will call for a vote. Mr. Olet,
Yes.
Mr. Bach,
Yes.
and I also vote yes. Stormwater management maintenance agreements and acceptance of stormwater maintenance management plans. This would be Matt Waldinger.
Yes, good morning again. Thank you. I have two stormwater maintenance agreements here. The first is one for the project known as ERI Rehab and Expanded Apron. The developer for that project is the Erie International Airport, or Erie Regional Airport Authority, I'm sorry. In front of you is the stormwater management plan. It has been reviewed by GPI for compliance with the township's stormwater management ordinance. There's a letter there stating such. There's also a copy of the stormwater maintenance agreement with the airport authority signed on the township's form. So I would recommend approval of the plan and the stormwater maintenance agreement.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Waldinger. Any discussion from the board? Okay, I am going to ask for a motion to approve. I'll make the motion to approve the stormwater management plans.
I'll second.
And I am going to call for a vote now. Mr. Olet,
Yes.
Mr. Bach,
Yes.
and I also vote yes. Next up, we have the tobacco enforcement agreement, and this would be...
Ms. Chairman, Chairwoman, sorry.
Yes?
There's two. There's a
Oh,
second.
I thought we did both at the same time. I apologize.
That's it. The second agreement is for the Kozik Clark Office Building Land Development Plan. The developer there is SNC Family REI LLC. They have submitted a stormwater management plan that has been reviewed by GPI and approved per the letter that's in front of you. They have also submitted a stormwater maintenance agreement signed on the township form. So at this time, I would recommend approval of the plan and acceptance of the agreement.
Any discussion from the board?
None here. I'll make a motion to approve.
And I will second. I'll call for a vote. Mr. Olet,
Yes.
Mr. Bach,
Yes.
and I also vote yes. And now I can move on to the tobacco enforcement agreement. Mr. Shaw.
Yes, the Township Police Department has historically assisted with tobacco compliance checks with various retail establishments. The department last assisted the tobacco enforcement program, I believe, in 2021. The department was recently approached by Adagio Health, the primary contractor who was awarded the contract from the Pennsylvania Department of Health to provide a comprehensive tobacco control program in the Northwest region, and to assist as a subcontractor in tobacco compliance checks with various retail establishments. The term of the agreement is October 1 of 23 through June 30 of 24, and under the contract, the township will receive, I think, up to $2,620 for tobacco compliance inspections. The recommendation would be to approve this agreement. I worked with Chief on getting this agreement finalized, and so we can move forward with it. Chief, I don't know if you have any other thoughts or comments on it.
Okay. Any discussion from the board? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the tobacco enforcement agreement.
I will second.
All right, I'll call for a vote. Mr. Olet,
Yes.
Mr. Bach,
Yes.
and I also vote yes. Next up, the financial security reduction request. And this would be Mr. Matt Waldinger.
Thank you. This is a financial security reduction request for Grouse Hollow subdivision. The developer for the subdivision, both phases 1 and 2, is the estate of David J. Baldwin. They're requesting a reduction in their letter of credit. The only public improvements that remain are sidewalks that are yet to be constructed. The current letter of credit held by the township is at an amount of $62,774.80. The remaining improvements with a 10% contingency require us to hold $39,688. This results in a reduction of $23,086.80. So at this point, I would recommend that the board approve the reduction of letter of credit letter of credit from Erie Bank number 1605, reduce it from the present amount of $62,774.80 to a new amount of $39,688.
Thank you very much. Any discussion from the board?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, and I will second. And I'll call for a vote. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Mr. Waldinger, you have another one here, developer agreement for a sewer extension on Millfair Road.
I do. This is from Dave Wright, sewer technical manager from the engineering department. He has reviewed an agreement for a sewer extension on Millfair Road. It is a 1,715 linear foot extension of 2-inch plastic low-pressure sewer for a developer. The developer is Harold and Renee Schweitzer. Dave has reviewed the plans and has approved them. The developer has signed the agreement and paid the required developer fee. So it is his recommendation that we approve this sewer extension agreement.
Okay, thank you very much. Any discussion from the board? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
And I am going to call for a vote. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Okay, now in communications. First up, we have treasurer communications. Mr. Daszewski?
Nothing further at this moment.
Thank you. We also have some hiring requests. The first would be Millcreek Fire Department, the hiring of 9 firefighters. Go ahead, Chief.
Thank you. Millcreek Township conducted a very rigorous hiring and application process to establish the first full-time career firefighters for Millcreek Township. These candidates went through a written exam, a physical agility test, interview process, and comprehensive background check. We have identified the top 9 firefighters to be considered to be hired as the first full-time firefighters for Millcreek Township. It's my recommendation that the following individuals be hired full-time firefighters starting on November 27th at a rate of $21 an hour, $55,364 annualized. And these candidates would be Joseph Alberzinski, Matthew Flack, Gerald Hicken, Bradley Jacobson, Cody Maxwell, Jeffrey Payton, Eric Shaw, Jeffrey Tilton, and David West. It's my recommendation that we would hire these 9 full-time firefighters.
Thank you very much. Any discussion from the board?
None here. This is a historic time for Millcreek. And I'll make a motion to approve the hiring of those 9 firefighters.
And do I have a second? I will second that.
I will second.
Okay. Sorry, Jim, I don't want to put you on the spot. I just want to make sure you get your chance to second things. Okay. I think we all very proudly want to make the motion, Chief Cliff, so thank you very much. This is, as Dan said, a very historic day. And I will call for a vote. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. And congratulations to these new firefighters. We're anxious to get to know them more, and this is a good this is a good thing for Millcreek Township and for the future of Millcreek Township. So thank you.
Congratulations, Chief.
Congratulations. Long time in coming, huh? Yes. Okay. We also have 2 new dispatchers that will be coming on, and we have Chief Mook to tell us about that.
Right, 2 of the 9 firefighters are full-time dispatchers for us, so we have a need in our dispatch center. And I recommend the hire of Dan DeLeo as a full-timer and Tyler Phillips as a part-timer. Tyler will be starting in training at $15 an hour and moving his pay rate to $16 an hour when released from training, and his hire is retroactive to November 7th.
Great. Thank you very much.
I would also just add to that Mr. DeLeo's rate would be $19.51 an hour. His is retroactive to November 13.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, any discussion on the hiring of the dispatchers? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve,
I'll second.
and I'll call for a vote. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
I also vote yes. And finally, we have one more hiring request from Public Works. Mr. Donikowski.
Thank you. Good morning. The Building Maintenance Department is seeking approval to hire Michael Swanson as a building maintenance laborer. He will have a start date of 11/20/23 at a rate of $20.56 per hour. Michael currently works as a subcontractor for Leaf Fitter. He previously worked grounds crew for Whispering Woods for 5 years, and prior to that, he had his own business, Erie Sandblasting and Painting, for 3 years. He has experience in welding, electrical, and construction from prior positions, and he holds a Class B CDL. I would recommend his hire.
Great. Any discussion from the board?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, and I will second. And I'll call for a vote now. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Okay, next up, we have some training and travel requests from the administration. And I believe that that might be me. I had the opportunity to attend a diversity equity workshop on November 9th from 9 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. last week. It was sponsored through the Erie Chamber and Growth Partnership and an organization called Opened Eyes. At the workshop, there was a discussion on cross-curricular and cultural understanding of acceptance, and the cost of the workshop was $75. And the information that I gathered we'll be using to take to the different departments within our township. So I was able to meet some really great people. I was there with individuals from all over Erie County, different businesses, organizations, banks, Erie Insurance, Erie Bank, Citizens Bank. It was very, very interesting. It was a great opportunity. But anyway, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve retroactively the workshop.
So moved.
Am I allowed to second my own?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'll call for a vote. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. And next up, we have another, let's see, through the MPD. We have an agenda request, we have a training request from Mr. Mook. Mr. Mook, I believe we have 6 in all.
6, yes.
So if and I'll ask our solicitor if we can do all 6 and then vote as a group. Okay, go ahead and do all 6, Mr. Mook.
Okay, the first.
Chief Mook.
On November 30th, AAA is providing a free one-day seminar at Edinburgh University concerning drug driving. Corporal Schallenberger, Patrolman Chest, and Patrolman Weschler expressed interest in attending this workshop. These officers are assigned to patrol and are active in DUI enforcement. Because there's no cost to attend, I recommend this be approved. The second request is similar to one that was already approved by the board. This is for a sexual assault investigation training course hosted by the National Criminal Justice Training Center. And previously, the board had approved this, but we found when we registered that the course was already full. So the dates this time around are April 22nd through the 26th. The SART grant through the Erie County Crime Victim Center will reimburse the township for the cost of the training, the hotel rooms, and the officer's salary for the duration of the training.
The only thing the grant does not pay for is per diem for meals. And the process here would be for the township to pay the entire upfront cost. We'd be reimbursed later by the grant. The academy fee is $625 for each attendee, total of $5,625. The hotel is a DoubleTree Suites in Plymouth Meeting, PA, where the course is being held. A rate of $125 a night for 5 nights and 8 rooms, $5,625 there. Per diem daily, $51.75 for the first and last day, and then $69 for 4 days. Total per diem, $3,415.50. The amount the township needs to pay up front for the training is $14,665.50. The grant will reimburse $11,250 for academy fees and hotel. The township will have to pay the daily per diem, which I already mentioned. I don't have specific names of the attending officers due to the fact that this is over 5 months away and we don't know schedule availability yet. The next training request, December 11th and 12th at the Hurt Auditorium in Erie. The Erie County DA's office is co-hosting a training course titled Human Trafficking. Law enforcement is becoming more and more aware of the problem of criminal organizations trafficking other persons to further their criminal activities. This course is free to law enforcement, and because of the location, there are no travel costs either. And I'm recommending that 8 MPD officers attend. This is a mixture of investigative services, special investigations, and staff officers. All of these officers already work with the Attorney General's office on task force work, and this is going to further the AG's task force work and also our efforts at combating human trafficking. No overtime is needed to accommodate the training. The next training request is Applied Suicide Intervention Skills Training, also known as ASSIST. This is being held November 16th and 17th in Erie at a location to be determined. This training is being provided by UPMC Safe Harbor. ASSIST is an important course for our peer support team, and completion is expected by the PA Commission on Crime and Delinquency as a condition of our acceptance of the COAST grant. The cost is $940 and is a budgeted line item to be reimbursed by the COAST grant. 8 hours of OT is needed to maintain patrol staffing to accommodate the training. This cost is also fully reimbursable by the COAST grant. Of our 3 peer support officers, Patrolman Brocklehurst has already completed this training, so I'm seeking approval for Detective Buckner and Patrolman Cool to attend. The next training request, the International Law Enforcement Education and Training Association Conference is March 18th through the 24th of 2024 in St. Louis, Missouri. There are over 150 police training classes offered this week with accompanying certificates upon completion. This is the nation's premier police training organization and conference, and as we see more and more, police actions are scrutinized, so it's imperative that we train our officers up to date standards. In his role as the police department's training officer, I recommend Corporal Caldwell attend this training. His membership renewal for the organization is $45 for 2024. The course registration is $440. Hotel costs $1,106.05. Per diem is $462, and flight from Erie to St. Louis and back is $685. Total travel costs are $2,253.05. And the last training request is the PST Police Northwest Training Center is offering an Alert Level 1 instructor course from November 27th through December 1st in Sagertown at the Quality Living Center. The purpose of this course is to train the trainer to prepare the first responder to isolate, distract, and neutralize an active shooter. Again, we're seeing more and more active shooters in the country. Again, imperative that we learn the most up-to-date tactics on dealing with these situations. There's no cost to attend this training. Travel would be by department vehicle, and I recommend Sergeant Panighetti and Corporal Caldwell to attend, as they are our department co-experts in this field. That's it.
Great.
That's a lot of reading, and I'm done.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Any discussion by the board?
Motion to approve?
And I will second. I'll call for a vote. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
yes,
And I also vote yes. Next up on the agenda, executive session. Executive sessions were held on November 2nd and also on November 8th. On November 2nd, litigation matters related to ordinance enforcement, orphans court petition, right-of-way matters, tax assessment matters, and sidewalks were discussed. Real estate matters were also discussed related to parks and rec facilities and the official map, as well as the lease of township facilities. On November 8th, litigation matters were discussed related to sidewalks, orphans court petitions, the right-of-way matters, and ordinance enforcement. Also in discussion were real estate, such as parks and rec facilities and the lease of township properties, as well as official map matters. Next up, we have solicitor communications. Mr. Shaw.
Nothing further on our end?
Okay, thank you very much. We also have our student ambassador here today, Erica Hills, and I wanted to give her an opportunity. Do you have anything to present? Could you please pass down the microphone, Chief Cliff? Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Does it work? Test.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Don't be afraid of the microphone.
Okay. Our football team made it 16 rounds into our state finals. So not state finals, state playoffs. My apologies. And for the first time ever, it's going to be a home game. So we kind of hope for a lot of attendance from Millcreek to show up. This past Friday, November 10th, our Air Force JRTC held a Veterans Day ceremony and also participated in the Veterans Day parade.
Oh, nice.
That's all I have for today.
Very
but
cool. Now, wait, hold on, Erica.
Yeah.
Do you know when the game is going to be?
I don't.
Not yet.
I just know that it's this Friday.
Oh, it's this Friday?
Yes, it's
okay.
this Friday. I actually don't know what time. I can look. And
So Trojans are playing in the playoffs this Friday. I'm going to say at 7 o'clock.
around. I'm gonna say 7 as well, but
Probably 7 o'clock. Okay.
I'll have to double check.
All right. Millcreek Township. Let's show up for McDowell.
Yes, go Trojans.
Go Trojans. We're bleeding blue. Well, don't really bleed, maybe, but thank you. Thank you very much for attending and giving us some updates. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, now on our agenda, we do have citizens to be heard. Are there any citizens that would like to speak today? Mr. Crow? In case you don't know the drill, you have to, put your
gotta sign my
name and
name here.
address. I know, I'm teasing.
Yes, we'll do that.
You know the
there.
drill.
Yep.
Mr. Grove, before you start, I'd like to acknowledge your participation in creation of the Student Ambassador Program. It's been a
Thank you very
been a
much.
great-
I appreciate
great
it. And I
thing for
wanted
the township and
give
for
the
the
young
school.
lady a shout out there. And thank you guys for continuing the program. It's important that our youth, I sound like an old timer here, that our youth understand how government works, especially at the local level. So welcome aboard. I'm a graduate of McDowell a long time ago. I think it was a one-room schoolhouse when I went there. And and actually, I'm not trying to belabor this here, but just a little fun thing here. At the homecoming parade, it was very nice that the McDowell Marching Band invited alumni members to play and march in the band. I was in the drum section there, because I was in the drum section when I was at McDowell. So it was nice to be there 48 years later.
I did notice that there were adults in the. I don't think I
Yes.
knew that there was an invitation though for past
Yes.
players. That's
and,
cool.
And actually, I was the oldest band member there too. So who knows, But anyway, it was a lot of fun. So thank you. If you could pass that on to the school there, I really appreciated that there. But that's just one of the things. I didn't want to belabor that. But congratulations to the Board of Supervisors. This has been a long time coming there, the paid firefighters. Dan, like you said, it's a historic day today there. And I know that was one of the things when I ran for office back 10 years ago that was very important, the fire service and how that the numbers were declining and we had to do the right thing. So my hat's off to the firefighters, the fire commission, to the Board of Supervisors, Mr. Shaw, and everybody involved in it there. So thank you very much on behalf of the residents of Millcreek. So, but the main reason I came here to speak was about the Erie Golf Course. And I'll just preface everything. First of all, I've been playing the game for over 50 years. I learned to play at the Erie Golf Course, okay? And it was kind of rough at that time. Of course, it's always been hilly, okay? But they didn't have any sprinkler system and so on. And it was kind of rough, but still a challenging golf course to play. And I know there's some concerns, and if I understand, correct me if I'm wrong here, Mr. Shaw, Millcreek Township is petitioning the court. Why am I getting that there? They're petitioning the court to have a deed restriction removed that would allow the sale, or is it just to sell the property to relieve of the burden this places on the township?
The petition is not directed towards removing any deed restrictions.
Okay.
The process that we have to follow in order to sell that is to get approval by the court because of state law, and that applies to properties such as this.
Okay.
So we filed a petition with the court to get its approval to proceed with trying to sell it.
Right.
And the goal is to sell it as a going concern, so that it continues as a golf course.
Right.
Obviously, as I think you're aware, 3 of the 4 properties that comprise the golf course have a deed restriction.
Yes.
The city of Erie, when it owned it several years ago, attempted to have those removed.
That's correct.
The court said no,
Right.
and so we're not even making that effort to try to do that.
Right.
But obviously, as time has passed and the challenges of trying to operate that golf course, the township, I think concluded that it made sense to, try to sell it to someone who can, make a go of it as an independent enterprise rather than, continuing to struggle with
Right.
who may operate it, the costs associated with it, and things like that.
Exactly, and I think the key word you just used there, Mark, was that challenges, and the challenges continue. And please, I'm not trying to counter what Mr. Brian McGrath wrote last week in the newspaper there. I think when it comes right down to it, him and I have the same opinion, and that is to keep it as a golf course, and I believe that will continue that way there. But, there's so many things. There's sentimental value to this golf course, and I certainly expressed the same feeling that Brian has, that this was built in 1921 by one of the world famous golf course architects, A.W. Tillinghast. So we have that distinction of having one of his golf courses here in Erie. But the other things, the fact is that I did some research here, and under a right-to-know request just for last year, I believe that the total money that was made was, $18,000, 17, something like that, almost $18,000. That is not a whole lot of money in regards to what the work that went into it, although that time that was put into it. Plus, let's also keep in mind that there is probably, and I'm not trying to, it's not an accusation or anything, times where our building maintenance department may have had to go up there for something or another that's kind of unaccounted for, okay? And so these things add up over time. So maybe that number, that $18,000, is even less than that. Not that they spent all kinds of time up there. I do believe that it's in the best interest for Millcreek Township to check out the options of selling this golf course. And I'll go back a few years when Steve and Nancy Crane were operating the course, and then their contract to operate it, was ending. They were retiring. So we were in a kind of a quandary. What do we do? So we looked for other entities to run the golf course for us. We didn't have much success. We had professional golf operators look at it and say, no, we're not interested. And then finally we had a private individual who happens to love the golf course as much as Brian and I do too. He came to us, he's a businessman, and he said, hey, I'd like to have my chance at doing it. And he's done pretty good up there. I can tell you I've played there a couple times a year. I actually am a substitute golfer in the Thursday morning men's golf league there. So, it is a beautiful golf course, and I think it should continue, and I don't think there's any question about that being discontinued. I do support any action that the Board of Supervisors does in relation to being able to sell this golf course, and, once again, as a golf course. I wish the township the best on that, and I think we'll have good representation in presenting that case and showing the courts. And also, I'm here to, tell the public here, this is kind of a burden. It is a financial and time burden to the township. And by no means is this going to be opening the door for selling any other properties, like our parks. I know we just had a parks plan meeting last week, and I attended it. I think we have one of the best parks departments in the area, probably even in the state. And we can only do things that help enhance that there. And I just have one comment, and I know you guys cannot vote on this or even take action at it. Should you have the success of selling the Erie Golf Course, that money that you get from that be reinvested back into a project for the Parks Department only, not put into the general fund, not for anything else, but specifically for the Parks Department. Whatever of something of value to the residents of Millcreek Township. That's what's important, I think, here in this matter. So thank you for allowing me to speak, and wish you guys the best on all of that there. So,
Mr. Gray, I will
Yeah.
comment on that last piece.
Yeah.
In fact, that is the intent.
Okay.
Is that the funds be used for
Okay.
Parks and Rec.
Okay.
And in fact, it was a condition of the Attorney General's office when they reviewed it and gave us the okay that, yeah, they're in favor of this.
Okay.
That's
Well, that's good
how
to
the
hear.
money be spent. So
That is really good to hear
and
that.
that's in our
sir.
petition.
I know. Okay. Okay, I appreciate the time once again. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other citizens to be heard? Okay, well, with that, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn,
So moved.
and I will second. It is 10:17. The meeting is adjourned.